Welcome back to Sahara TV. My name is Rudolf Okonkwo. It's been 33 days, 13 hours, about 45 minutes since the girls of Chibok were kidnapped by Boko Haram fighters. We haven't yet found them. On our Skype call today, we are going to discuss this topic from all the angles. And we give you the chance to give us your feedback on some of the stories around this topic. For instance, on our question of the day, we asked you if you felt disappointed that the President Goodluck Jonathan, did not go to Chibok yesterday before traveling to France. We're going to talk about the Americans in Nigeria and all the foreign security personnel who are coming into the country to help. Also, I understand that today the Arsenal Football Club, they beat Hull City to win the FA Club Cup. This is, my understanding is that this is the first time in 9 years. So maybe there is hope for all the issues that we have, that somehow we will be able to resolve them. But right now joining us on Skype is Adam Badamusi. Adam is joining us from Mauritania. Adam, welcome to Sahara TV.
Well, thank you, Mr. Rudolph.
From London, we have Shobo Ogunyemi. Shobo Ogunyemi, welcome to Sahara TV.
Yeah, good evening, Rudolph. Thank you for having me.
Okay, from India, we have Michael. Michael, welcome to Sahara TV.
Yeah, thank you, Rudolph.
And then from Canada, we have Yemi. Yemi, welcome to Sahara TV. Yemi. Okay, Yemi is not with us now, but hopefully he will join us. All right, so the obvious way to start is to ask the question, and I'll come to you, Adam. The story is developing, is the lead story still after about 3 weeks across the world. In this week we are, there have not been any kind of improvement in terms of getting close to finding the girls or rescuing them. So, but what we know is that yesterday the president was supposed to go there, and he didn't. What is your take on that, Adam?
Thank you, Mr. Rudolph. First and foremost, I think it's a very great disappointment from the side of Mr. President. The situation is not right from time. They ought to have been there. They ought to have been there. Not even. This is just 33 days from the time of the kidnap. So he ought to have been there ever since, but promising that he will be there yesterday and he refused to go there. It's just a very great disappointment, I think. So we just hope that the girls could be rescued one of these days.
All right.
That's all I can say now.
Okay, let me go to Shobo Ogunyemi in London. Now, the government is saying that there are some stories out there that they didn't intend to go in the first instance, or that for security reasons that they didn't go. What does that do to the credibility of the government if, for instance, they did not plan to go and they allowed the story to be out there that they were going to go until they decided not to go?
Thank you, Rudolph. You see, it's quite a pity that Nigeria is being run in this manner. When I read the statement from Ruben Abati yesterday, I begins to completely lost my confidence in anything called Nigeria. Because the thing is, Alex Crawford, the Sky correspondent, she was in South Africa before she was redeployed to Nigeria to go and cover that story, the Chibok story. And that lady, I don't know any part of Africa or any part of the world she has not been to. For her to be in Abuja, leave Abuja, and then travel to Chibok. And right from there, she reported that President Goodluck Jonathan will be visiting Chibok yesterday. And for her, you see, all these Western media, They don't just pick story and relate it back to their home country. They have it in source, on a reliable source. And there was presidential advancement team that went to Chibok yesterday, which gave hope that the president will be visiting. For them now to turn around and say, we did not tell anybody that the president will be traveling to Chibok, this and that. I mean, beggar beget. It is high time we begins to look, to shop for somebody who is more credible, who knows what it takes to be the president of a country. I was watching Uhuru Kenyatta yesterday because of what the Foreign and Commonwealth Office did in this country, warning holiday maker not to travel to Kenya. He came on here, he said, well, he understands with them, but still, we will go after these terrorists. I have never seen our president to be somebody who is confident of himself. I think we begin to examine his so-called PhD. Even if you are given the job, if a job fall on your lap without you wanting it, the moment you are in the job, I give you 3 months, you should be confident enough on that very job. This man he's been in the corridor of power for almost 10 years now, from being deputy governor, acting governor, vice president, acting president, all sort of things. When is he going to come up of age?
Okay.
I mean, all right.
All right. Thank you so much. Let me come to you, Michael. I know you're in India, sorry. And I want to look at the foreign press. How Yemi just alluded to that they came to Nigeria, they went to the scene, they went to Chibok. Meanwhile, most of the Nigerian media, they are not yet there. They've not gone there, and the president could not go there. They've been writing editorials. I don't know what they are writing in India, but over here in America and Europe and other places, very critical of the government, that the president is not in control of things, that the government is corrupt. And these are the things that when Nigerians were writing them, people were abusing them of being too critical of the president. What do you think is the impact of the foreign media being in the country and reporting things they are seeing to their home countries and the outside world?
Yeah, thank you, Rudolph. Actually, the story is not different here because every day I check the newspaper, it's all about Boko Haram, even here. So I think every media in the world are taking this story as a main story. However, we know that in Nigeria we do not have freedom of journalism and press, so it's difficult to find credible journalism, in the nation. I mean, credible journalists. Let me use the word. However, we know also that this is a corrupt system. The system is corrupt from top to the middle and to the last part of it. So even the media that we have is just a media based on what the government want them to say. Now, look at the previous press conference that was held by the president. Don't tell me that if our media cannot ask questions directly to the president, they're only asking him what he wants to answer, not what should be asked. However, the presence of foreign media, I think it's done a lot of things. It's helped the nation, and it's given much more exposition to what is happening in the nation. However, I want to say that Nigerian media is not trying. I mean, I still believe that the social awareness created on Facebook, Twitter by ordinary Nigeria has gone far more than what the Nigerian media has really written about this Chibok. And they are really mixing stories. I mean, they are contradicting themselves. This should not be. I mean, this is a nation that should be founded on truth. But we know that truth is not in our dictionary in Nigeria. So whatever we get from outside media, we recognize it more than what we get from home. And some people who are critical about Sahara Reporter, they say, Sahara Reporter is in New York. How did they get news? And I keep telling them, which other news reporting stations do you want? Do you want the nation's vanguard being run by political people? I'm not saying this to make you guys feel anyhow, but I still feel you're doing a credible job in some aspect, which Nigerian media is not really. I mean, they're really not helping the situation. Then, and they're not even on the ground to cover the main story. Remember the bomb blast in Kenya? We saw. I mean, the terrorist attack in Kenya mall. We saw the media on foot. They were really hard. The Nigerian media is lacking. I feel we are still lacking in so many areas which should be worked upon. And the president, I don't know what to say about the guy. I really am tired of him. And I feel Nigerians are really tired, and we can make a next decision. And a new president, a youth, and someone who understands the meaning of commander in chief. I mean, the guy is just like there, like a dummy figure. Hope he can change, but I don't see him changing. His body language, his structure. He prefers to travel abroad, and that is the main thing. These people prefer to go to countries that are developed. Why don't they stay at home? Jonathan hardly stays in the country. He doesn't even know what's happening there. I think that's another issue that needed to be looked into. Why does this guy stay so much time outside the nation and not even in Abuja? I think.
All right, Michael, thank you. We'll get to some of these issues with time. Let me come to you, Yemi. We are hoping that the Nigerian military, that they will be able to rescue these girls. But the stories that we're getting, they are not encouraging. So we hear stories that the military, they are not the hierarchy, they are not treating the lower ranks well. There was mutiny in the division that's supposed to be fighting this war. And from the Americans, we're hearing that even though they are getting information, they are not willing to share with the military because they believe that there are Boko Haram sympathizers within the military. So how do we rescue these girls? How do we fight this war when the people that should lead in the fight are in disarray? Yemi? Oh, I understand that Yemi is now. Yemi, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Oh no, I'm talking about Yemi in Canada. I think he's not with us now. All right. This Bishop just joined us in London. Bishop, welcome to Sahara TV.
You're welcome, sir.
Okay. So Bishop, let me ask you this question about the military, the situation in the military, and the hope, because the American troops are not in Nigeria. They have advisors. They have people who are helping out. It's still our military that will eventually go in there and take action, but they're in disarray. How do you think that they can do this job when they can't get their acts together?
Well, once again,
Bishop, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm talking to you.
Okay, go ahead.
No, yeah. It's sad and it's quite unfortunate that Nigeria has found themselves in this states. And once again, I want to send my sympathy and my condolence for those family members who have really been. I can imagine what pain they will be going through up to this moment. It's more than a month. Get to a month now. These kids have been missing. Nothing has been done. Here we are. The military that are well equipped. I keep telling people, the military, Boko Haram, they are no more than the military in Nigeria. They are not. How can they? They don't even have the resources that a nation has. Even if I thought they got the sponsor, a single individual cannot sponsor thousands of people, yet a nation cannot be able to combat these people, confront those people. It's sad. Going back to your question, is the military have not done much. Like Yemi said last week, I believe by now people should be resigning. People should be resigning in their from the advisor, from the, I don't know what they call them, but people should be resigning up till now. I don't see that happen. If such a thing happen in this part of the world where we are, and quite a lot of people would have been resigning their posts. But that is not happening, so quite unfortunate. The military government, the military they are not doing enough. They are not even, okay, now, somebody, the guy in India who said that the military are not willing, or is it Rudolf that said that they are not even willing to give out information. They cannot work together if they're not willing. Like you said, they are same party. I quite agree to that. They are same party among the military who are sympathizing.
All right, Bishop.
Because they are the people.
Yeah.
They are the people. They're not there.
Now, Bishop, we'll come back to you again. Let me come back to you, Adam. I want to ask you because we read stories about local people taking the law, essentially fighting Boko Harams themselves. You know, there was a report in a local area where some Boko Haram members came out to buy food and get some supplies, and local people killed some of them and beat some of them up. And these are the people that our military, they are not willing to confront. What do you think will be the next course of action? We interviewed earlier today Dr. Jo Odumakin, and she said that on the 27th of May that she is going to lead Nigerian women and some activists to go to that forest and protest there. In a way, basically saying that if the government is not willing to take action, that people are going to lead the fight against Boko Haram. What do you think will be the next stage of things happening if these kids are not recovered? Adam, are you still there?
The next action. Yeah,
okay.
I'm there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. It's like you're asking me what do I think the
next
what
would this kind of citizen action lead to? Is that the solution?
I think those guys need to be armed. The government need to arm them because the Boko Haram militants they are well armed from all indication, but I don't know, one way or the other those local guys were able to overcome them. And again, to be honest with you, I think I should go back to your last 2 weeks episode. Mr. President, point blank, need to resign. I don't understand why things. There are so much conspiracy within this Boko Haram issue. How come? Look at ordinary militants, ordinary local guys are able to overcome 200, kill more than 200. Nigerian military guys are not able to, they are even afraid of confronting them. How come? When did Nigerian military became so weak that they can't confront Boko Haram militants? The Boko Haram militants from 2009 to date, when did they become so armed like they can confront a nation like Nigeria? It is very clear, it is very impossible. Something is wrong somewhere. If Mr. President is not ready, is not willing to deal with these guys, let him resign clear. It is very clear that he's afraid of them or afraid of taking action against them. People are dying. Mr. Rudolf, please, you said something just this evening, last time that since Arsenal were able to
win the FA Cup,
the situation is not about Arsenal. It is not about this. Mr. Rudolf, if take for instance your family member is part of this issue, it's not something funny. It's not something.
No, it's not funny. I'm saying that sometimes we think something is impossible. But something that happened today is a reminder that certain things we think is impossible may not be impossible.
A serious government ought to have taken action right from time. This is more than a month now.
Yeah, because
more than 300.
Wait. Let me ask because even the Americans are saying that the Nigerian soldiers are not willing to fight. They've seen them. They know they are not willing to fight. So the question I'm asking is, who will now lead this fight? Should we depend on locals to get into because that's likely going to happen in the next few days. If the military will not move, people will start going towards the forest, and that will be a calamity, when they try to confront the Boko Haram people who are well armed. So what will happen? And just imagine the situation where people are moving into the forest and our military are also trying to get in there. I mean, it's a very big tragic thing that could lead to.
I don't want to call anything like revolution in that country, but I'm thinking it is high time Nigerians should rise against this government. This government is not willing to help the situation. This government is weak. This government is incompetent. This government has been keeping quiet for insurgency in the north. What for? see, it is very clear. If he can't do it, let him resign. It is very clear. So many people out there, like this former head of state, Muhammadu Buhari, he has been clearly saying, condemning this insurgency. Today, I read on Facebook where he suggested the way forward to this insurgency, to the situation of the insurgents. It is very clear. Some people are not capable.
Adam, can you summarize what Buhari said in that piece as the way forward?
He said the situation, the security situation in the country, or in the northeast, or any part of the country, supposed not to start from the top. It's supposed to be a bottom to the top. A situation whereby you have to, from the locality, from the people in the locality, you have to like allies with them. Let them give you any good information you need to like overcome the situation. It is not it's not something that you can just come overnight, put all the military efforts, the military force, and then get rid of the
please, can I come in?
Okay, Adam, we'll come back to you. Okay, is that Yemi?
Yeah, Yemi.
Okay, Yemi. Yeah, when you were talking, I want you to address this issue because on Thursday, the Prime Minister of Britain went to the House of Commons and he made a statement where he was saying that the world has been essentially that everyone, the media and the world, have been unfair to the government of President Goodluck Jonathan. What was he saying and what was behind that? But go ahead.
He said the world media has not been fair to President. No, it was on Wednesday when they were doing the Prime Minister question
time. Okay, yeah, okay.
And somebody asked him a question, and then that brought up his response, because I always watch Prime Minister question. But let me start from how we're going to, the issue of this Boko Haram, how we're going to resolve it. For me, in my personal opinion, the starting point should be for us to go back to Boko Haram. Whoever knows them, the likes of Shehu Sani, because I know he might know them.
No, he's talked to them before, yeah.
Because I've followed his interview. That made me conclude that he knows them. So they should go back and talk to him. Let us negotiate with this Boko Haram, get the 200 or whatever number of guests, get them out, then go back to drawing board and let us start again.
What are you willing to? What are you willing to give? Wait. Yemi, yes. What will you be willing to give so that they can? Because they are saying that you should free their prisoners who are.
You see, in any even American, the British, they will negotiate behind the back, and when they come to the house, they will never tell us they have negotiated. So what they are willing to give, we will look at it. By the time you are talking to them, okay, how many prisoners do you want? How much amount do you want? So we will go with the amount and look for their prisoners, which we have to give back to them. Then from there on, we begin to chase them. You go back after them. You see, the level of corruption in Nigeria today has really eat deep and deep into the military. If the military refuse to fight, Rudolf, I'm sorry, I don't blame them. I will not blame them. I've been in this United Kingdom long enough. I've seen when people are being brought back from Afghanistan. I've seen the ceremony. I've seen the dignity with which they were brought back to this country, the type of burial, how they look after their children, even the ones that are not dead, the trauma, how they were made to integrate back into society, what they have been able to do for them. So why will I go and carry gun, start defending Nigeria, and when I know there is nothing for my children, there is nothing for my parents, and people will come back and tell me, oh, you have signed to defend the country. That is the nature of your job. When it's a two-way street. When I was signing the agreement, nobody ever told me, we will only give you 1922 rifle to go and fight 2014 rifle, to go and fight 2014 Kalachoko or whatever they call it. I don't know the name of the gun now. So what we are saying is this: if you cannot equip me, if you don't give me the tools to work with, and you expect me to go on front line to go and confront somebody who is more equipped than me. Alex Crawford was talking to some of our police, some of our army today, they said, if you cannot give us what we want, we are not ready to confront them. If Mr. President is not willing to go to Chibok, well, like a friend of mine posted on his Facebook page that we should not blame Mr. President because Shekau refused to give him visa. That was the reason why he didn't go to Chibok. So whenever he decides to give him visa, Mr. President will go there. If a commander in chief of a country is denying going to a particular country because of security situation, then we have a lot of problem in our hand.
All right. Let me go to India and talk to Michael. Michael, there are crises in some territories in India, and I'm wondering, based on what you know about India, how are they handling that? Like, I think in Punjab, that is different from how our Nigeria is handling the situation in the Northeast.
Look at it on my screen now, is Nigeria.
Actually, handling crisis here is much more easier and much more simpler. Actually, most of the crises which have been occurring or reoccurring here they're not really crises. They're just social vice or violence, which after just one day it's over. The issue in Nigeria is a much more complicated issue. At least to anybody, even I can go to Punjab, I can go to any state freely, and if my own president cannot walk freely in his own country, which he is the leader, then you know that there's a big problem, right? However, I will say this, and I will say it, that Boko Haram is just a distraction. These 273 girls is just a distraction. Believe me, if you don't want to agree with me, I can force you to agree. And also, it's
You
just
mean
like
distraction
mirage.
from what? What are we? Where are we? What are they distracting us from?
Yeah, they're trying to distract us from the ill government. They're trying to distract us from the incompetence, which in the end is still showing. They're trying to distract us from the upcoming election. I will tell you this, all these things that are happening, majority of the reason why this thing is happening right now is because of the 2015 election. If you want to look at it from a critical point of view, now, the Americans, they flew their drone over the Boko Haram territory, and they told us they can identify Boko Haram, but they couldn't find the girls. And you want to tell me another thing? Even if America enter Nigeria, I will say this in pidgin language: if a stranger enter Wari, if a Wari man did not show him way, he won't know how to enter that country. Even if a foreigner enters Nigeria, if the people in the country did not cooperate with him, even if he has sophisticated equipment and technology, there are certain places where he will never identify. You understand me? So the whole thing now comes back to the military. The military is doing nothing, and they are not ready to help. Without the help of the military, the help we are taking from America, from whichever country, will be futile. If the locals are not giving support to this foreign personnel, I mean military officers, then we wouldn't get any result. I will say in conclusion, motivation is one thing. If our military, according to this man who spoke earlier, he spoke about motivation. Our military system and our security personnel, they're not highly motivated. But even though they are not highly motivated, the love of the country is still not in the heart of so many people. In the end, we have to look at it. They are being paid their salary. They are being paid to do their job. Everything now runs down to corruption. Everything runs back to corruption, where people, the head or the top of the military, they're not given adequate equipment because they are being infiltrated by the Boko Haram. And he talked about Buhari. Someone talked about Buhari. Buhari is no way better than Jonathan. Hello?
Yeah, someone turned on the volume of their live stream. Please, can you turn it down because it's interfering with the conversation? Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, Buhari is no way better than Jonathan. He hasn't come up with any reasonable. I will tell you, he hasn't come up with any direct approach. If he knows that he has an approach which the country can use, then let him come up with it. Don't tell me that Jonathan did not. I will repeat this. Don't tell me that Jonathan doesn't know who Boko Haram is. Don't tell me that Jonathan doesn't know where the 273 or wherever girls are. Don't tell. They know all these things. These are, I will call it conspiracy theory, if you will permit me. This is kind of a conspiracy theory. Jonathan knows all this. Buhari knows everything. They know all these things. They're just trying to make this nation suffer more than we are suffering. They're just trying to.
All right, Michael,
Okay.
I have to stop you there. Let me come to you, Bishop. A newspaper in England, the Independent, UK Independent, reported that a British-born Nigerian, Aminu Said Oguche, was the mastermind of the bombing in Abuja, and that he's schooling currently in Sudan, where he's been arrested, and they're waiting to bring him back to Nigeria. Now, how do you take this news? Does that change the perception of Boko Haram, in the sense that if this is true, that someone who used to be at a school in England, who was a former military guy who left the military, who is behind some of the Boko Haram activities, and he's far away in Sudan? Bishop.
All right, I'm listening.
Yeah. So what is your take on that story?
All right. Well, it's quite unfortunate. I read on the news, I have not heard much about it, but if you ask me, it could be, and thinking the fact that those people, they are Islamic scholars, they know what it takes to be what it means to be a terrorist. And again, if you look at the incident of this guy, Amutara, the guy that was under the bomb.
Yeah, he was also in England.
Mutala, in England. He was here in the UK, where he traveled to. When he was back, he traveled to Nigeria, to US. They are all around there. It's sad. The perception here. Again, I also refer you to the guy who killed a soldier man here in the UK.
Michael.
Those guys, they are all Muslims, and it's the perception. I wrote an article. Those things, those guys, they are anti Islamic. Islamic, in fact, they don't even say what they are doing. I concluded that this is political and selfish interest. This is what I can see, and it's sad. It give us the notion that the government of is this also, it go back to our government, because they are not helping the matter. If our school, the education system are working well, and the tools and everything is factual are there, I don't see no reason why people want to come to Western and get their education.
All right, we're running out of time. Let me come to you, Adam. I want to find out from you. So, the dream of most people that the president should take action is not coming true, and the other option, that he should resign, is not likely. So, what do you think should happen? How do we change the dynamics of things? Adam, are you still there?
Yeah, Mr. Rudolph. To be honest with you, everything lies in the hands of the government.
Well, the government is not act. They're not willing to act. So do we say wait for them until they act? Is that the solution?
I said something the other time that I don't want to mention revolution to that country, because you can only know the beginning, but you don't know the end. That's just the basic of revolution. But to be honest with you, the future is blinking. The future is getting blank. I don't know. The situation is not funny. But let me just comment on the past speaker. You see, I'm a Muslim myself. Do you get? And in short, by the special grace of God, I'm versed in the knowledge. I'm versed in the religion, and I understand so much about the religion. So most of the time, if I heard somebody saying the Islamic perception is what people are using to do what they are doing, I think just imagine a situation whereby you just go and kill somebody and you call it in the name of religion. What religion permit that? Let me tell you something. Whatever religion you, whatever faith you belong to, you just have to respect anybody that belongs to any other faith, and then you just have to keep your faith to yourself, because if you impose your faith to another person, that means you are making that person's faith inferior, and then you are making yours superior faith, and which is not the ideal way. And this is a religion whereby I think every religion I think should be private. Something is holding us in Nigeria together today, and which is like the rule of the land. The rule of the land should prevail more than any religion. Whatever you do, there is a rule in the land that says you don't have the right to look at any other person or to force any other person to do what you're doing. So if I think we have a good leadership that can stand with the rule of the land and uphold that to every citizen, that whoever disobey the rule of the land, what's it called? He has to face the consequences, and that is what is supposed to be. We need a good leadership. Nigeria should rise. We need a good leader. We don't have a good leader. Nigeria is blinking. If you look at the situation of this Boko Haram, of this girls kidnapped, it's not something funny. It's not something funny anymore. I just woke up this morning. I just imagined what I'm seeing on Facebook. I was like, oh God, if it happens to be someone's daughter or someone's child or you imagine how the parents will be feeling. And I just read something like one of the Joe Madik Odumakin, or one of the
Joe Odumakin,
one of the journalists that said she went there or something like that. It's very unfortunate, the area. And I'm telling you, to be honest with you, if you go to far north in Nigeria, you will just discover that everybody is like, the situation is like the government is not taking care of anybody there. Everybody is on its own. So that is how the situation looks like over there. And it is not even in the north itself. If you go to the other part of the country, except those major cities in the country, you find out that it looks as if there is no government. It is like, it's just very pure that there is no government doing anything in this, because some other part of the country are just like look for a way of surviving of the fittest, doing one thing or the, whether it is good or not. I don't know.
I could feel your pain, and
it's very painful. It's very painful. I listened to your colleague Omoyele some other time, making comments on Fashola. If you go to Lagos, government is every locality in that state. You can feel that a government is doing something. You can feel it, if at all. The federal system.
Adam, let me stop you. Let me stop you. We are going to have this discussion because I would like to find out from you, if the federal government is failing in their duties, what about the state government? What about the local government?
What about the local government?
Why are people not demanding? Because if you say, I can tell you that even though the government is not getting, go ahead. Is that Adam? Go ahead. We are running out of time. I just want you to round up.
Mr. Rudolf, there is a limit to the state government. There is a limit.
There is
what they call the local chairman. There is a limitation. There is a limitation to all those guys you mentioned.
Hello, Mr.
No, let me tell you sincerely speaking. Let me tell you sincerely speaking.
See, the bottom line is this: corruption has eaten deep, and the same thing that is happening in the top is happening in the middle, and it is happening in the lower tier of the government. Why are we not holding our governors also responsible?
Okay.
Why are we also now critically? It's unfair on Jonathan if we are talking about development.
Adam, hold on. Let's hear him. Then you come back, okay?
No, seriously. If you're talking about all-round development, it's the president is not the one who will implement this development in all the states, in all the localities. what are the northern governments, governors and other governors doing with the allocation? Are they not getting allocation? Can they come out and say the government is not paying them allocation? What is happening at the local government level? Are they not getting the allocation? The point is that the problem is the same. In fact, if you ask a common Nigeria, if you put a small Nigeria, a young Nigeria, beg your pardon, in any political office, he would do the same thing. We all of us, we are criticizing the government. If I put this young man in power today, he probably may do the worst thing. You understand?
All right,
Mindset.
Yemi, that's okay. Adam, round out just 30 seconds because we have to go. We really have to go. 30 seconds, Adam.
Okay, as I'm saying,
Yeah.
okay, as I was saying, look, for instance, when you go to Lagos State, for instance, in every locality, in every local government, you can feel the presence of the government doing something. Do you get it? So, but when you go to let me come to that. When you go to other when you go to other states like in the north that I'm used to, you may go to a locality, you just be imagining, is there anything going on here or something? Is there any government? Is there any system that is abiding this? You have to like asking question, what is wrong? Something is wrong. Definitely something is wrong. So we need like the entire system of the country. We need like we Nigerians, we need to like wake up and tell ourselves like, look, we need somebody, we need good leadership. We need like to, if it takes us to scrutinize whoever is going to be there in the next election, we need to do something about it.
Adam, thank you so much. Adam, let me tell you that before we go, first of all, you have to, when you look at Lagos State, you have to know that Lagos State is one of the few, about 4 states in the country that are actually viable. They have more resources than all the other states, and you will see more activities in Lagos State. And also, when you're talking, so we will have a debate on who to blame, but it's not going to be today. And I want to give you guys one more chance to give me what's keeping you up at night before we end this section. Let me start with you, Yemi, in London. What's keeping you up at night?
I don't have anything keeping me up at night because I don't think about Nigeria any longer. So. All
right, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. Michael in India, what's keeping you up at night?
No, what's really pissing me off right now is shoving the whole responsibility on the president of the nation, a nation that has 36 states with 36 governors, 700 whatever local governments, which are being offices which are being held by people who are Nigerians also. These people also should be held responsible, not only the president. I'm not advocating for Goodluck Jonathan here. I'm not his fan anyway, whatever reason. But we should change that mentality that the government will do everything in every corner of every nation. What are the governors doing? What are the northern? The northerners should look at it from this perspective. They should they should call their leaders to order. Their leaders are not really doing anything. They are enriching their own pocket at the detriment of the people. And that's why I'm talking about Buhari. I'm saying Buhari and Dangote and the likes of these northern leaders. They are the real problem that the northerners are facing, not the president, not the administration, but they themselves. It's like they are the cancer hitting deep into their own people.
All right.
Believe me.
Thank you, Michael. Bishop, what's keeping you up at night? Bishop, are you still with us? Okay, Bishop is gone. Probably he's asleep. Adam, what's keeping you up at night?
Okay, Mr. Rudolph, let me comment on the last speaker, what he said about Buhari or Dangote. Look, the situation has gone beyond any individual in the north anymore. The situation of the security is just packed to the Mr. President. Mr. President's office is the final hope for the security situation in the north or any other part of the country. So it is not a blame game anymore. And then for what you just asked, what is keeping me up at night is just by the special grace of God. That is just what is keeping me up at night. I don't have any thing anymore to say.
All right, thank you, Adam. Thank you so much. I understand. We'll be back next week to talk more about this. I want to thank Adam.
Mr. Rudolph,
yes.
I listened to one of your interview with General Muhammadu Buhari. I want you, please, if anytime you invite somebody like that please contact. Let's have a kind of question and ask
Question and
them.
answer. Okay, okay, all right.
Yeah,
We do
and
we
then
do
and
offer
when
we do
bringing,
offer our guests that option, and sometimes they don't want it. But in the case of Buhari, no, we did not. But because you
well,
know that a lot of people might call and say some inappropriate thing to some people. But we do offer that,
no,
and once they
no,
accept, we will let
you
people
can
join.
okay, you can just draw a rule against something
Yeah, but
that
once it's
is not
live,
supposed to
anybody
be.
can come in and come on and say anything, so you can't control what they say at that point. But anyway, thank you
Yeah,
so
you
much.
can.
Thank you so much. I really have to go. Thank you so much, Adam, for joining us. And next week, join us again. We'll have more time to talk about this. Ogunyemi, thank you so much for joining us from London. Michael in India, thank you so much for joining us. And then Bishop in London too. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Okay, we unfortunately we've come to the end of our show today. We want to thank all of you that watched us. I hope you were entertained and you learned something from what we showed you today. We had interesting conversations, and they will be up on our YouTube page in the next few days. On behalf of everybody here, we have a lot of our staff here, the technical people. We want to thank you for watching, and we hope you'll come back and watch us the same time next week. Until then, stay with us. Go to Sahara Reporters and Sahara TV and Sahara Radio, FM radio, and follow our programs. Thank you so much, and God bless.